remembers that you can do fish farming even the smallest piece of area that you have on your land, say at your backyard, say some remaining place in your farm. Farming is the only way to go, and that is fish farming for you that I've brought you. Without you taking any further, let us dive deep into how you can do fish farming. Perhaps let us now begin with how you can construct a fish pond. Here we go. Don't go away. Subscribe and we get started. Hello viewers, it is time to dig deep into how you can now construct this concrete fish pond you're seeing right behind me. This concrete fish pond that is seeing right behind me is easy to construct. Let you not be deceived. You just use simple to use materials. But before we get there, I'm going to first take you through the steps you need to undergo if you really want to construct such a concrete fish pond. It's just very easy. The first step is level the ground where you're going to construct your concrete fish pond using simple to use material like hoes, like shovels, like spades, whatever you have at your disposal that can help you level it. If possible, a grader if the terrain or the makeup the makeup of the place is a bit rough. So after leveling, the next thing you have to do is now first of all putting up this wooden structure that you're seeing behind me. It is actually simple to put up because you use simple to use materials. For example, the timber you're seeing there is actually the timber waste, which are these are the tree barks, which are wasted timber that you can use to construct this. And then the iron sheets you're seeing up there are second hand. And then away from there, why do we need to put up such a structure? We need to put up such a structure to maintain security, because those people who don't wish you well, who may at times throw in dangerous chemicals. That's why from my side I had even to roof so that I don't throw dangerous chemicals or poison from out to inside through the roof. That's why I roofed. But then where you are is safe, you're okay to go, you can just maybe put up the structure and you don't roof it. Or perhaps you may just use a wire mesh, that is the metallic mesh, and then you put that mesh around the pond, such that kids don't fall into, such that thieves don't easily attack you, and other security purposes. So when you're done with that, you are now good to go. You'll have such a structure that you're seeing behind me, and then you're ready to construct your concrete pond that you're seeing right behind me. Concrete pond where I'm standing. So now, because you're done with leveling, with a concrete pond you have to begin with a foundation. Anything begins with a foundation. So now you dig a foundation which is not so deep. You can dig a foundation which is like roughly 2 feet. It's just enough. So when you dig the foundation, you start now the construction. But before you start the construction, you need to first acquire quality construction materials for constructing this concrete pond behind me. We call it concrete because we use cement and other material, but not necessarily that we're going to use the other concrete everywhere. So now these are the materials you need. You need river sand, you need lake sand, you need cement, you need waterproof chemical to make actually your walls not be able to absorb water and to prevent linkages. You also need a lot more other construction materials like your builder will tell you, or your engineer. So now, when you have acquired that, make sure you acquire good quality materials. Let me note this about bricks. If you have to use the sandy bricks, don't use those bricks which have holes in them. Use these compact sandy bricks without holes in them, because the others with holes cannot withstand the pressure of water. Water is very heavy now. So that is that. So now when you're actually done with that, you actually go ahead and start the construction. If you have to use these small bricks, you can even use better you use what we call the clay made bricks. Why the clay made bricks? Because the clay made bricks for them, they can easily withstand water, because we know clay is very good at withstanding water. But even if you get these soil made like the ones I've used, it is better to use them also if you are to use waterproof that is in good quantities. For example, which waterproof can you use? In Uganda or Kenya, East Africa, there's what we call Dr. Fix. I'm going to put the picture there. It is very good. In each one cement sack, you mix one packet of waterproof cement made by Dr. Fix. Away from there, the next thing is when you start now constructing, you use a qualified engineer or builder, not someone who's just a learner, someone with some bit of experience, because you're constructing something that's going to retain water, and water has pressure, because water by nature wants to live flat. So now you must have very strong walls to enable your concrete pond withstand that pressure of water. So when you begin now constructing, there is a way you have to do your bricks. If you can see here, the bricks have not been put in the normal way of construction, but we have put them in the other way to make our actually wall a bit thicker. So you arrange your bricks in such a way that the thickness of the wall is going to be at least 9 inches. Not the use of construction. You're constructing just to live in, where we make it 6 inches. So here you make it 9 inches. You organize it in the longer way, not in the shorter way. You get it, to make your wall very strong. So when you are done with that, you begin now your construction, because you have now known how you arrange your bricks, you have the materials. You begin straight away your construction, and then you do construct whatever you want. So when you're done with construction, the next thing is now plastering. But before you plaster, you make the floor down. How do you make the floor? Don't do this mistake. Many people have made this mistake. Don't do this mistake. What mistake do people do? When you are putting your concrete floor, first pour a lot of water, to an extent that the soil cannot now cannot actually absorb more water. Pour enough water such that such that now the water makes the ground very soggy, and actually the soil gets to level itself to the right level, so that when you now put your concrete floor, it doesn't actually crack later on. So pour enough water before you lay your concrete floor. And then when you're done with laying it and doing the finishing, you need to always pour water there for the first 4 or 5 days on a regular. Each day pour there water, or make water remain there, such that that cement absorbs enough water. The more it absorbs water at the start, the more it becomes very strong and doesn't crack. So there you have made your concrete pond floor very well. The next thing is plastering. The builders will do the plastering. They will plaster. When they're now done with plastering, the next thing is doing the finishing on the plaster, where you also have now to sprinkle water on that plaster. Why? Such that the plaster walls are also strong and they don't also crack. So when you're done with that, you are good to go. You now start thinking of stocking your fish. But before you stock your fish, a wise farmer who has been farming and learning how to farm at this beautiful channel, you don't just rush and stock your fish. What you do is you first fill it, that pond, you leave it to dry for about 2 weeks. It will be okay. Then you fill it with water, almost 2/3 with water, or 2/3 with water. You fill it with 2/3 with water, and then you let that water out after 2 weeks. Mark this. Before you fill it with water, when you're done with the construction, leave it for 2 weeks to dry very well so that it becomes strong. Then fill it with water, then leave other 2 weeks, that's about a month, you're preparing your pond altogether. So as when you're done with that, you fresh up that water, or you let go that water, because why do you put that water? That water is put to actually soak out all the cement, to soak out all the cement. When the entire cement is soaked out, because cement can make that water be acidic, there are those remaining cement particles. This water, for the first 2 weeks, you soak it up. That's why you don't use it to rear fish or farm your fish. You fresh it out. So now, when you fresh it out, and then you'll now fill your pond immediately with water that is going to culture your fish. And that water must be also first treated. But one thing, I'll give you a video about treating that water. How would you treat it? I'm calling it treating, but it is fertilizing that pond. You have to fertilize that pond water to make it a little greenish, such that there is formation of some planktons. For my new for my new viewers, I'm talking about food for the fish. It's called planktons, such that there are some phytoplanktons and zooplanktons that are formed that the fish will feed on to supplement or to complement on the boat feeds, so they will farm a little cheaper. So, my good colleagues, that's what it is. So now, I'll give you a video, a beautiful one, about how you can prepare your pond water. That is how you can fertilize it before you stock, but that will be for another day. Now for today, because we are talking about construction of a fish pond that is a concrete one, let's talk about how best you can actually do the plumbing of your pond. I don't know about plumbing. How you can do the plumbing of your pond. So now with the plumbing, what you actually do is down the pond, at that level of your floor, concrete floor that you have put down, is where you perforate a hole and you fit in the PVC pipe that is going to let out water, and the PVC pipe will run up to where you're going to dispose of that water. Make sure when you laying that that foundation, when you're actually laying that floor for your pond, it is a little raised from the ground. Even if it is 4 inches raised from the ground, the better. Even if it is 6 inches raised from the ground, the better. Why? Because you want water to freely flow from the pond to out where you're going to dispose it due to gravity, such that when you fit this pipe, you can a little incline it. You can a little make it slant until you lead out water to where you want to dispose it. You see? Interesting, this fish farming, and very easy it is if you really follow up and you take caution. But it's tricky if you don't take caution. So now, when you're done with the fitting that pipe, which lets out, that pipe is fit in such a way that that pipe is fit from out to inside where you've made a hole down in your pond. But that pipe should have some bend, some kind of a bend. It will be like this, with some kind of a bend. Have you seen those PVC pipes with a bend? So now up here on the bend is an opening where you again feed another pipe that will always block water from flowing. Once you pull up this pipe that will be fitting up here, water can now get in and flow out. Hope you can see it on the side there. So, and this pipe that you fit in, this one with a bend, let's call it the seven shaped, or the shaped. This pipe that is 7 shaped, this pipe that you fit in it should have some bit of perforated holes up on it. Don't perforate them at any level, but at a level where you want your water to end. In case you have fitted this pipe in, if you want your water to end here, you begin perforating your holes from here upwards. So that whenever water reaches this level, it will just get into the holes, get down, and then it flow. So that when the pond fills with water, even in your absence, the water will just get in and flow automatically. Hope you can see it on the side there. So that is about the plumbing. You can hire skills of an expert in plumbing to help you do that, but you give him the picture that I'm telling you, because the plumber may not be skilled in fish farming. Or when you have got it right, you can also do it, because I've also been doing my own in wherever I've been doing fish farming. You know, fish farming is my pleasure and fish farming is my joy. So now, when you have done that, the next thing that you must know is, when you're doing fish farming, this wooden material that you constructed must have a door, so that you can cross to prevent young kids from falling into this concrete pond, because it contains a lot of water and they are sure they can even fall in and fail, even if it's a somewhat a grown child, because it is slippery, because you fertilize the pond and there is having a lot of algae that is slippery, someone can drown it there. So you have to cross it. When you're making this wooden thing I'm showing you here, you leave some holes to let in the sand, rather the sand to get in. And if you can see right behind me here, I didn't even make these wooden pieces to go to exact top. There is some space to let in the sand. Hope you can see it in my background. And even the other side and even the other side, they are there. Or probably if you cannot use, it's not a must that you're going to use wood, you can even have a wire mesh, that mesh, a metallic mesh, and then you put it around your pond to prevent kids from falling in. And that one will even be better, because sun will be getting into the pond. But for my level, for my size, where I'm doing, based on the neighbors, I fear that they may even throw some poison from the roof to down. That's why I even had to put iron sheets. But if where your eyes is safe, you don't even put the iron sheets. You just put a wire mesh and then you're good to go. Or you just put these, wooden materials and then you're good to go. So that's what it is. The roof may be needed or not needed, depending on the circumstance. But security is very paramount. Yeah, you need to plan ahead of your enemies, because some people will not wish you to prosper. So that is how you can do the construction of a concrete fish pond, and then it shall be good to go. And then you will start stocking your fish and you earn money. Some people have been asking me, I'll make a video about this. Is fish farming profitable? Oh yeah, fish farming is profitable. According to my research and calculation and research that I've found with various fish farmers, catfish farming, which you can do probably now in such a pond, because you don't need to regularly change your water. You just change your water like 10% for every week. You change 10%. You will change 10%. I will show you how you calculate the volume of water here, and you know the liters, and know how much you're going to put out as 10% every week. I'll make a video about that. So make sure you subscribe and always keep on following and commenting to tell me what you need to learn about. So I probably have been talking about the volume of water. If you know that you put maybe 700, let's say 700 liters, rather 700, jerry cans. I'm talking about the local now African style. 700 jerry cans that are 20 liter in here. You now need to replace or replenish. You let out, and then you replace 10% of that water, which is about now 70 jerry cans, 20 liter, like that. Or if in liters, you calculate the number of liters you have actually put as water, and then you know the 10% is what you replace every week. Or if you want to do 20%, if you want to replace every 2 weeks, you're maybe a bit busy, you replace it with 20% of the water. So that's what it is. Thanks for following, thanks for subscribing, and keep on doing that. For those of you who have not done, keep at the channel. You're going to learn a lot. This is the African farmer at Harvest Cash. We farm to harvest cash. We farm to transform lives. When you do fish farming, you're going to prosper. So when you're doing fish farming, don't mind about what discouraging people will tell you, because it is a new venture in Africa. To some people it is new, In West Africa, it's a bit common, but now in East Africa and other parts of Africa, it is new. Some people say, the things cannot profit. Don't listen to their words. Stick on to your dream and pursue your venture. And perhaps if you're within Uganda and you want to do the venture, I'm here to give you the consultancy. I'm here to guide or even help you put up the same structure at yours and start farming. And my number is going to be running there below on the screen. So that is fish farming for you. It is profitable. How is it profitable? You can profit, and perhaps for a beginner, what I didn't tell you, it's better you do catfish farming. Why catfish farming as a beginner? You as a beginner need to do catfish farming because you only change 10% of the water per week. Yet with the tilapia, if you're to farm tilapia, the Nile tilapia or any other form of tilapia, the water must be circulating all the time, yeah? Which is a bit costly. You need to change water on a daily, which is a bit costly because some of our farmers don't have the shallow wells. But this one you can do it without even a shallow well. You can get these people who have those trucks that bring water to functions or bring water to schools to also bring you and stock you with water for the entire month. You calculate what will take of the entire month in terms of 10% per week. You calculate it, so maybe 10% was meant to be maybe this number of liters times maybe 4. Those are the 4 weeks in the month, and then you stock with you remove the water and replace with that volume of water, such that you don't now change on every week. You can do it once a month. But with once a month, you calculate and stock or change enough amount of water that will take the fish with the fresh water for the entire month. Why do you change the water? Because the fish always pull in that water. The oxygen there gets finished. The dissolved oxygen that the fish take gets finished. So that's why you need to replenish. You need to repress. You need to repress the dryness so that your fish can actually swim very well in the water. Because water to them is life. And to us, even human beings, water is life. So don't be discouraged. You don't have a shallow well. You cannot do. Even with a tank that collects water from your house, you can actually be in a position to actually get that water and use it to replace the water you have in your fish pond, concrete fish pond. That is 10%. You just go to go. If you can have enough water to replace 10% per week of what you have in your pond in terms of water, it's just okay. You can even hire those trucks they bring you. You replace once to take you for the entire 4 months. There you replace now 40% of the water because now a month has 4 weeks. You get? There you're good to go. So catfish is one fish which doesn't disturb perhaps to us, to you the beginners, because you don't need to continuously replenish the water, because for it can even survive in those those turbid waters. So but it doesn't mean that you don't change the water. You have to change water for catfish. I'll make other videos on our fish farming channel here, and you learn more about fish farming. Keep on subscribing, keep on following, keep on commenting. I've loved the joy, I've loved the love since I started the channel that you've been showing me. So keep up the spirit, because we also just earn from the little that we get from YouTube, from the knowledge that we give you. So now support us to also support you. We give you knowledge. You also subscribe, follow and like, so I also pick some little money from YouTube. Also now keep facilitating these programs of teaching you. Thanks for everything. I've been your host Chiberu John Mary Basajja Nsolo, the Ugandan farmer for today. Bye bye.